Hashtag POV. You're a prison guard running an illegal operation. You know that feeling when you first put on a uniform? That sense of authority, respect, purpose. Yeah, that's what I felt 6 years ago when I became a correctional officer at Riverside State Penitentiary. But here's the thing nobody tells you about working in a prison. The system eats you alive, one shift at a time. And when it does, some people just find new ways to survive. I became one of those people. This is your life as a prison guard running an illegal operation. Level 1, the first opportunity. It starts small. You're working the intake block, processing new inmates, and this guy gets thrown in your cell block. Tommy Delgado, mid-level distributor, 15-year sentence. And on his very first night, his cellmate, a guy named Marcus who's been inside for 8 years, approaches you during lockdown. He says, "Guard, Tommy's got family on the outside. Real connected family. They're willing to pay if certain things happen. Things that make Tommy's life comfortable." You know what comfortable means in prison. It means protection. It means access to contraband. It means power. And Marcus tells you the number, $5,000, just for looking the other way during a specific visiting hour. Your salary is $32,000 a year. You've got student loans. Your ex-wife's still taking half your paycheck for alimony. $5,000 is more money than you see in 2 months. So you think about it, just for a second, and that second is everything. Level 2, the first taste. You do it. During the visiting hour, you're stationed at the checkpoint. Tommy's sister comes in with a sealed envelope in her purse. You see it. You don't check it. You don't ask questions. She sits across from Tommy for 30 minutes, and they don't talk much. They don't need to. That envelope gets passed back out, and you collect your payment later that same day in the parking lot. $5,000 in cash sitting in a duffel bag in Marcus's locker, which you retrieve yourself. And here's the dangerous part. It feels good. Not just the money, but the power. You're not just a guard anymore. You're someone who can make things happen. You're someone people need. For the next 3 months, you do 3 more jobs. Different inmates, different families, different contraband. Phones, narcotics, messages. You're making $30,000 a month now, and nobody suspects a thing because you're careful. You follow protocol, you never raise flags, and you keep your mouth shut. Then one day, your supervisor calls you into his office. Your heart stops. You think it's over. But he just wants to compliment you on your clean record. 0 disciplinary write-ups. Outstanding performance reviews. He's recommending you for a promotion to senior guard. Level 3, the expansion. This is when everything changes, because with your promotion comes access, more authority, fewer eyes watching you, and suddenly, you're not just the guy who looks the other way, you're the guy running the operation. Marcus approaches you with a proposition. His bosses want to expand. They don't just want contraband in and out anymore. They want information. Who's in the prison? Who's cooperating with federal investigators? Who's protected witness in protective custody? That information is worth real money. We're talking $50,000 per name. You start asking around, casually. You befriend another guard, Derek, who works the records section. You buy him dinner. You mention how underpaid you both are, how the system doesn't appreciate you. And Derek, he's hungry too. He's got 2 kids and a mortgage in a town where the economy collapsed. He agrees. Now you've got a partner. Someone who has direct access to federal databases. Someone who can pull files without raising suspicion because it's literally his job. You're making $100,000 a month. Level 4, the complications. But then an inmate dies. Wrong place, wrong time. A kid, really. 22 years old, in for a non-violent offense, and he gets stabbed 17 times because he looked at the wrong person's food tray. And the investigation into his death, it leads back to the contraband network. FBI shows up. They're not there to investigate the murder necessarily. They're there because they've been tracking a drug distribution ring, and this prison is one of the nodes. They start interviewing guards. They start reviewing footage. They start asking questions about how so many phones have made it inside. You realize you're about to get caught, so you do what you've been trained to do in situations with no good options. You adapt. You realize that Derek's about to crack under pressure because he's weaker than you. So you contact Marcus and you tell him that Derek needs to disappear, not die, just transferred. Pressure from above. And that's when you cross a line you can't come back from. Because now you're not just facilitating crime, you're actively obstructing justice. You're tampering with a federal investigation. Level 5, the collapse. Derek gets transferred to a facility upstate. He leaves quietly. He doesn't say goodbye. You know what that means. He's been flipped. He's cooperating with the feds to save himself, and now you're truly alone. The FBI comes back harder. They have phone records showing calls between Derek's number and yours. They have financial records showing wire transfers to shell accounts. They have testimony from 3 different inmates who've identified you as the operations facilitator. Your supervisor pulls you into his office again. This time, it's different. He's got a stone face. He tells you that the FBI wants to interview you and that you should bring a lawyer. And suddenly, that promotion, that clean record, it all evaporates. You hire a criminal defense attorney. You're spending $60,000 on legal fees, eating into the money you've been hiding. Your attorney tells you the truth. The evidence is overwhelming. Multiple witnesses, financial records, communication logs. They've got you dead to rights on about 6 different felonies, including conspiracy to distribute controlled substances, obstruction of justice, and extortion. Level 6, the choice. They offer you a deal. Plead guilty, cooperate fully, testify against the inmate organizations that were pulling the strings, and you might see daylight again in 15 years instead of 25. You have 72 hours to decide, and that's when it really hits you. You're not the authority figure anymore. You're not in control. You're about to become what you swore you'd never become, an inmate, in a facility probably a lot like the one where you worked, maybe even the same one. So you take the deal. You plead guilty. You testify. You give up names, dates, amounts, methods. You become a federal witness, which means you're toxic to everyone in the criminal underworld. And when you're sentenced, the judge gives you 18 years. Level 7, the reality. You're wearing an orange jumpsuit now, the same orange jumpsuit you used to see on the other side of the bars. And as you're walking into your cell block on your first day as an inmate, you see Derek. He's already here, already processed, already settled into a cell 3 blocks over. He nods at you, just a tiny acknowledgement. You both know exactly how this is going to go. The inmates know what you were. Word travels. You took money to let contraband in, which means you caused overdoses, you caused violence, you caused deaths, and now you're one of them, but without the protection, without the allies, without anyone to look out for you. The first week is brutal. The second week is worse. By the third week, you're trying to survive day by day, and survival means finding your own edge, your own advantage. And there you are, back at the starting point, thinking about how you could leverage the fact that you used to be a guard, how you could use the connections you still have, how you could maybe, and that's when you realize this never ends, not for you. The cycle doesn't break. You're trapped in it now, and the only way out is time. 18 years of time, looking at the same ceiling, talking to the same people, living with what you've done.